So we finally got to sit down and watch episode 4 of Hard Knocks with the Cleveland Browns. I had to work Tuesday night, so we're a day late on the review.
Yeah.
Now, episode 4, Sean, what did you think?
You know what? I liked it, Josh, because you know what? We're about 3 weeks into training camp.
Yeah.
This is where it gets to grinding.
Nitty gritty.
This is
Roster cuts are coming.
Everybody's getting tired.
Yep. And, you know, the episode started with Hugh Jackson talking about accountability, talking about effort.
Yeah.
That was a theme throughout the entire season, right?
Yeah.
He said, look, when you're out there in practice and you're making mistakes, that's fine. He has no problem with that as long as you're not making the same mistakes.
Yep.
Learn what you need to do and get it done.
Yep.
Be accountable. That's non-negotiable.
Yeah. And like he said, effort.
Show effort.
Effort. And that's why I brought up what I liked about it, because this is the 3rd week in training camp. Everybody's getting tired. Everybody's getting little nicks and bruises, and
we saw that.
Gotta push through it.
We saw that during the game against the Eagles. Now, defensively, they look pretty damn good.
And didn't we say that they're going to have a good defense this year? And everybody said the Browns.
Man, they were getting through that line, penetrating, getting to Nick Foles, Myles Garrett with that safety. That was pretty damn sweet.
That was pretty awesome. Myles Garrett looked like a monster.
But offensively, you know, things weren't exactly going very well.
Yes.
And Jarvis Landry, a guy that we saw a lot during this season, talking about show effort, go 100%. He even looked sluggish during this game, and Todd Haley even got after him.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It happens to everyone, right? Veterans, rookies, everybody's going to start slacking off a little bit, and you need that little kick in the butt, right? The defense looked great, but the offense looked very underwhelming, you know?
Like Jarvis, you know, there was that pass that went out of bounds, right?
Yeah.
And, of course, there was no way for him to catch it, but Todd Haley still got after him.
Oh, of course, because if any of y'all play football or any kind of sport, really, you don't have to just play football. Even if it's not even achievable what you need to do, if you put 100% effort, that's all that matters. But if you're half-assing a rebound, they're going to be like, where's your effort?
Yeah, so he chewed him out a little bit. Later on, he came up to him after the game and talked to him and said, hey, man, I'm sorry. You know,
I yelled at you.
Yeah, and all that.
And they made up, but, you know, it's all passion, man. And you got to sometimes get into these players. It even doesn't matter if they're a star player or not.
So, also during the game, you saw Tyrod Taylor.
We're going Tyrod.
Tyrod Taylor, he fell on his hand. He, dislocated his pinky?
Yeah, he dislocated his pinky and apparently messed up his wrist a little bit.
He was in pain, man. He was screaming in that tent.
X-rays came back negative, so nothing broken.
Went back out there.
The crazy thing is, I saw this live, and I thought for sure, because I watched that game, I was like, it's broken. His left hand must be broken.
Everyone thought, he was like, oh, he was done. Myles Garrett,
he
was asking about Taylor, and he was like, oh, man,
he's done.
He's
and
hurt.
he was in excruciating pain. But
even the commentator was like, oh, it looks like it might be Baker's turn here.
Yeah.
It's his team.
And you know what, though? Tyrod Taylor, and you know what? That speaks volumes for Tyrod Taylor and him as a leader, because he literally was still in some pain, but he said, you know what? I'm going back out there.
Showing that effort.
Yes. You got to push through the pain.
Because, Hugh Jackson said it, you know, many times.
Yeah.
You know, he wants to turn this team into a nitty-gritty, tough.
Mentally tough.
Team.
Mentally tough.
And now also during the game, some guys, you know, that they showcased throughout the season.
Yeah.
Kajus. He looked good. He looked good in the game.
You know what? Before that game though, they were really working on his blocking.
What was his
Darren Fells. Darren Fells, which is a veteran in the league. He's been around with multiple teams. I think Cardinals and a couple other ones. He was showing him how to really use his lower body, because this is what a lot of players will do. They'll use a lot of their upper body. They'll try to use what they're used to, their hands and their arms. Can't do that, you know. And he was teaching him how to use his core strength, and it showed in the game.
Nate Orchard, how did he look?
Nate Orchard he looks like he just can't get it done.
Yeah.
You know, it looks like he's got that high motor, but it looks like he's not, the strength isn't there, right? The technique isn't there. He's running by the offensive line, but they're just guiding him past the quarterbacks.
Yep.
And the thing is, you can't let that happen, man. Another thing I wanted to mention is Baker Mayfield. He looked a little overwhelmed. For the first time, we saw this whole Hard Knocks and this whole offseason. He's looked great, phenomenal. But he showed a little little bit of a rookiness.
I liked how in this episode they showed that slow-mo pass.
Because he kept saying during his press conference that everything's starting to slow down, so they made that way too dramatic in this episode.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit more time for the game to slow down, especially if you're a quarterback.
Yeah.
Let's see. Does Nassib, he looked good.
Yeah, Carl Nassib, the genius, the guy that knows it all.
He looked good. He's also an alien conspiracy theorist. Yes. He was talking about that Canadian Prime Minister guy, whatever, saying that he admitted and knows that that the U.S. government is
like 3 different species.
Yeah, I was like, see, every single year, Hard Knocks has that one weirdo guy.
Last year was that guy that didn't believe in dinosaurs.
Yeah,
right? He's like, dinosaurs aren't real.
Now this dude talking about alien conspiracies. Yeah. By the way, I think there are aliens out there.
I do too. Well, that's a different video. That's the.
But that dude's cool as hell. I like him. Another thing I want to talk about. The rookie show.
Yes.
Every year the rookies put on a talent show type thing for everybody, and I gotta say,
this is the best one.
No doubt about it. This was the best one because see, in the past, guys would come up onto the front
and just like sing or do a talent show or some like weird stuff.
These guys were putting video packages together. Production.
They were doing.
Taking advantage of the cameras of Hard Knocks, I guess.
They were role playing. They were doing.
Let's see. There was a spoof on Todd Haley.
Yes. And Greg Williams.
Yeah, when they got into it.
Yeah. About block the guy or you block him, it was just hilarious.
But the 2 best ones, obviously, were Blake Johnson, the rookie wide receiver. He mocked and spoofed Jarvis Landry's speech. Yeah. Where he, as you guys know, he chewed out the other wide receivers
for their effort and their playing through injuries and stuff.
Man, it's contagious. You don't. And he spoofed that. It was so funny. He was out there. Whether you have one arm, you got to catch it with another.
If you have a broken leg, you still got
to go out there to boot. And then he's like, even if both legs are hurt, he's out there in 2 boots. And they showed that little side line catch.
And then they said, even if you can't walk, and they had him on a golf cart.
Oh my god. He catches the ball. He's like this. That was so funny.
That one, and then the Baker Mayfield impersonation of John Dorsey, the GM.
That was dead on impression.
He was like nonstop. The funny thing is, I thought was he was chewing that gum.
And while his mouth wide open.
While they were watching it, though, they show the camera on John Dorsey, and he was chewing gum at the same time. He's like,
that walk. He had his walk down completely.
That was awesome.
Those are the 2 best ones. Yeah. I'm gonna give it to Blake Johnson. He won the rookie show.
I love the Baker Mayfield one. I don't know.
What was y'all's favorite?
Yeah, y'all let us know.
Who won the rookie show for you guys?
Now I know we're gonna talk about this more probably next episode, but I did want to bring up the Michael Kendrick. Now before we jump into the obvious, because we already know the breaking news has already came out today, but Michael Kendrick did something that was actually. It's genius that Greg Williams had him come up in front of the whole defense and talk about the Eagles' weaknesses. And you know what? That Browns defense took advantage of it. He said, I can't even pronounce that offensive lineman's name, Vitae or whatever. Big V. Big V, yeah. Where's Adrian Fetke when you need him? So he was like, oh yeah, this guy, he doesn't have good feet. And then they cut to the game and Myles Garrett, he's destroying him.
He's like, you keep going at him, eventually he's gonna,
Yeah. He's not confident in his feet. He's just a big guy. He's not that strong. Said that Nick Foles, he throws a really high ball, a little high arching, so you have to wait on it a little bit more. And you know what? They exploited it, man. I was impressed by that. But obviously we know he's no longer going to be part of that team.
He said the Browns have more talent than the Eagles.
That's a ballsy statement, which I understand why he said that, even though it's not true. You want to say that, right? You want to get your confidence up for your team.
Browns got a ton of talent.
They do.
And maybe it is true, I don't know. We're talking about the Super Bowl champs, though.
Yeah,
that's Super Bowl champs.
That's tough to say that.
But Michael Kendricks.
Yeah, we already know the insider trading. We'll talk. They're going to show that next episode next week.
We saw Josh Gordon.
Yeah,
Josh Gordon in this episode.
That was one of the biggest things, man. He showed back up. Yep. He's not on the active roster. Now he is, but at the time of this episode, he wasn't. So
it's just so great to see, like the franchise itself and the fans who were welcoming him back, and it's just awesome that this city and this franchise stood by him this entire time, all the ups and downs. And that's incredible because you don't really see that in the NFL.
And you know what? That I guarantee you helps him and his struggle because he obviously we already know he went to rehab for his mental health and obviously his drug use and stuff like that to make sure he doesn't screw up again, and that helps having that good support around him.
Another thing I want to say from this episode that I liked was Hugh Jackson when he was asked about the quarterbacks.
Yes.
I liked how he put the confidence in both of them, in Taylor and Baker Mayfield. When he was asked, should Baker Mayfield get some first team reps or when is that going to happen? He said, no, that is not happening. To Rod Taylor, he's getting all the reps. He's learning a new system.
Offense,
He's got to get all the reps he needs. Baker, he's working well with the twos. We're going to keep it just like that. And if Baker ever needs to be called up for whatever reason, we'll go from there.
Yeah.
And he's confident in that. So I like how he puts that confidence with Taylor and Baker Mayfield, who also got interviewed by Troy Aikman, your boy.
Yeah, Troy Aikman during that Fox broadcasting. Because, before every game, televised game, the production team that's going to call that game sits down and talks to the players. If y'all didn't know that. During the regular season, every time, they always sit down with them. Now, so they talked to him about that, and Baker reinforced that too. So, and I like that. Baker said, well, Baker's response is perfect. I came here to help the team win. If it's where I'm at right now or if I'm starting, then that's where I'll be. Now, another thing I wanted to bring up, which I was a little disappointed about because they didn't really talk about it that much, right, was the injury to Denzel Ward, their 4th overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
So he tackled, I can't remember what player. He made a tackle, and he came up holding his back, it looked like. His lower back, or I don't know I think it was his lower back. They never really talked about it in this episode. So I was a little disappointed. I wanted to know what was happening. So I'll have to look into it more. The thing that sucks is in preseason, they don't have to give you any details on injuries. So that's what kind of sucks.
And I guess one of the last things I want to say is I love that Myles Garrett is an old school guy.
Yeah. Oh.
During practice, they had him playing some old school music.
Yeah. And, who was it?
I think it was Al Green.
Al Green, yeah.
Man.
He went up to Hugh Jackson and said, I want some old school.
I love that because you go on my iPod or my not iPod, but
iPad,
iTunes on the iPad and the phone on that shit. I don't have any of my iPods anymore. I lost them all.
Oh, yeah.
But I love listening to that old school shit like Al Green and Marvin Gaye and all that,
old soul.
Otis Redding. So I love that about Myles Garrett, and he's not afraid to blast that music during training camp. People were joking.
They were like, I've already have 2 babies. I don't need some more babies.
Making that baby
love music. That was pretty fun.
So that's really cool about Myles Garrett. He's an old school type of guy, old soul. I love it. He plays that old school type of football. This dude is a beast. So that's cool.
Another thing that I wanted to mention is that we saw this actually. Remember we talked about how Todd Haley went up to Jarvis after the game, was like, hey man, sorry for yelling at you, but you got to set an example for these young players. These young players are going to see you do it. They're going to think they could do it. And you know what? That actually correlates with something that happened early in the episode, right, that I was really impressed on. Jarvis Landry's leadership. We mentioned it in the very first episode that we saw his speech. You know what he did? Is he was sitting down with Antonio Callaway, the rookie, the guy that got in trouble with the weed in his car, right? He was out this game with a groin injury, but Jarvis was in the film room, just him and that guy and Callaway, sitting down, watching film, talking about what you need to do on this route.
That's a leader.
That's great. A leader. And I think that's going to pay off dividends.
Yep. So, guys, let us know what you thought of episode 4 of Hard Knocks Training Camp with the Cleveland Browns. Who won the rookie show? To you?
Yeah.
Do you believe in aliens? Have they visited Earth? Let us know in the comment section down below, and we'll see you next week for the season finale.
Can't wait.
Y'all take it easy.